Hey everybody. So the big news of today is that Patrik Laine has finally signed a deal with the Winnipeg Jets. It's a 2-year bridge deal at $6.75 million per season for Laine. So Laine will be back in Winnipeg this season. There was a lot of talk about him being traded. There was a lot of talk about him possibly holding out into the season. Not going to happen. He's going to be back. He should be back with the team as soon as possible. He is signed for this year and next year at under $7 million per year. So that's a big addition for Winnipeg, who still is without Kyle Connor, who had 34 goals last year. They are still without Dustin Byfuglien, who has not yet reported to training camp, and have lost a significant amount of players since last season. Getting Laine back is big for Winnipeg, and even bigger than getting him back is him producing. Laine last year did not have a very good year. He scored 30 goals, and you look at that on paper and you say, what, he had a 30-goal year? That's fantastic. I think it was 18 of those goals came in the month of November. And down the stretch for Winnipeg, he was borderline useless. He had a very, very bad second half of the season. And that was one of the biggest stories in hockey all of last year, was what is wrong with Patrik Laine. There was a lot of talk about him playing too many video games, spending too much time playing Fortnite, and not actually focused on hockey, not actually playing or focused on playing and being a big-time contributor. Patrik Laine needs to have a big year this year. He needs to prove himself this year that, last year was just a bad season, and that he's going to be an elite goal scorer at the NHL level for the rest of his career. So I think Laine is going to have a big season. I don't remember the exact number of goals I had for him, but if you watched my prediction video for every team's leading goal scorer, I said that Patrik Laine is going to lead Winnipeg in goals this year, and I think it was somewhere around 44, 45 goals. I think Laine has a big year. He needs to. He needs to have a bounce-back season after what happened last year. So Laine's back. That's really good news for Winnipeg's top six. Now at $6.75 million, with Dustin Byfuglien now off of salary cap because of his suspension and potential retirement, Winnipeg has a projected cap space of $14.8 million right now. Byfuglien is almost $8 million a year, so if he comes back, he significantly cuts that down. However, they should still have enough money to sign Kyle Connor, at least to a bridge deal. I think on a short-term 2 or 3 year deal, Kyle Connor is going to garner probably somewhere around $6.5 million, maybe a little less than that. But Connor had more goals last year than Laine, so Connor's no slouch of a player either. But I would think that on a short-term deal, Winnipeg should be able to get Kyle Connor for between $6 and $6.5 million, somewhere in there, which they should have enough cap space for, and still barely be okay if Dustin Byfuglien does come back. If Dustin Byfuglien does not come back, then that's $7.8 million freed up in cap space or $7.6 million, not 7.8. $7.6 million freed up in cap space for Winnipeg, and that they can work with. But then they lose Dustin Byfuglien, who now is an extremely important piece to that team's defense. Just looking at their defense roster right now, it is not good. So Laine, big signing, great for Winnipeg to get him back. Really, really needed to get him back because their top six had taken a huge hit with Laine and Connor both out of the lineup, and they had bottom six guys moved up into the top six, and now they get at least one major contributor back. So good on Winnipeg to get this deal done. It's still not a long-term deal. It doesn't lock in Laine long-term with the Jets, but it does keep him there for the next 2 seasons at least, and he will be an RFA again after the 2020-2021 season. So we'll see what happens with Kyle Connor. They need him back too. This team has lost a lot this offseason. They can't afford to lose Laine, which they haven't, or Kyle Connor. They need these guys back because it's going to be a tough year for them anyway. They've got to be all hands on deck at full strength for this season, because if they're not, it's going to be a really difficult year in that Central Division, which is, I think, the best division as a whole in the NHL, certainly. There's a lot of good teams in that Central. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.